You are on the rant couch where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one's for Mr. Wovums, who says, Digibro, please rant about North Korean propaganda cartoons. So I'd never seen any of these, and he didn't link any, but doing some Googling around, it seems like uh, I'm just gonna let the ice speak for a moment. Yeah, there's one called Squirrel and Hedgehog that has been talked about a lot. Saber Spark has a couple big videos on it, and he pretty much goes into all the details you would really need about what the hell it is and why it exists. But yeah, North Korea has this extremely long running, seemingly started in the 70s and has had like a modern reboot um, TV show for kids that is about like international politics essentially, as from the perspective of jingoistic and militaristic North Korean perspective. The show seemed honestly fairly entertaining. I mean, it's pretty good looking. I'm surprised how nice the animation is, particularly on the newer one, which looked like it was probably from the mid 2000s. It has a nice aesthetic. The music and animation's all pretty good. Plot wise, I found it difficult to follow from what little I watched. Obviously there's the fact that it is a propaganda, but it's just telling a story from a very particular perspective. Nothing wrong with that. I have to wonder if people who would have a big problem with this cartoon and be like they were showing this to children would be the same people who would say like violence in video games doesn't have any impact on children. It's like I don't know how much of it is just that like the themes or the things you're literally taught by the show might affect you versus like implication or context. How much does the context of what you're doing in a game, for instance, affect your perception of how it reflects reality? But in the case of this show, I think you could just as easily just take it as a TV show and not really read that much into it, especially as a kid. I don't think I would have probably read much into it, particularly because I found it hard to follow even as an adult. I'm sure I would have had no fucking idea what was going on in the show as a child. I don't really know what the writing level is for Koreans, but like it was surprisingly complex of a situation going by what little I watched of like episode 30 that was subtitled on YouTube when I searched for North Korean propaganda cartoons. So yeah, I mean it's an interesting show. If this sounds fascinating to you, I would encourage you to look into it. I have a feeling a lot of people already know about this shit since Saber Sparks' video had like a 1.7 million views. Feel like I'm the last one to the party on even knowing about this, but if there's more North Korean propaganda cartoons, I didn't find them through my searching. Could have been more specific next time. But it seems like interesting shit. Seems like they put a lot of money and care into their propaganda, as well they should, to make it the most effective that it could possibly be. I don't know how effective it is though. I don't know if the cartoons telling you shit is nearly as effective as just your parents telling you shit. Um, I'd be interested to see like what a kid's beliefs would be if they were raised in a society that entirely believed one thing, including their parents, while watching a show that subtextually constantly promotes beliefs that are completely different from theirs. I mean, I think that's already true. Like, considering how much of America is conservative and how little of media is conservative, there's plenty of people. I think Devu told me one time, like, he grew up in a conservative Christian household, a very strictly Christian household, but like they watch cable television, and like it's just about compartmentalizing it and like talking about it afterwards and just saying, oh haha, that's not how the world works, but this is a fun show. So yeah, no harm in the existence of propaganda cartoons really in my mind, but I'm sure that's a debate.